In this video, I'm going to break down the beat to my new single, Forever, that just dropped. It's been getting a lot of good responses. So I've seen some people comment and say, hey, why don't you do a behind the beat on that? So in this episode, I'm going to do a behind the beat on the beat and explain everything that went into it. It's a pretty straightforward one, but I think if you're into the song, you might find this pretty dope. So let's get into it. All right, now the first element of this song that I'm going to talk about is the drums, because the drums are a big part of the song, a huge part of the song. One of the comments I've heard people say is, yo, the drums sound like some Primo shit or some Pete Rock shit. And that's deliberate. You know, I appreciate people saying that it feels like that, because that's exactly what I was going for. So one of the first things I'll show in here is how one of the first elements is the drums. And I wanted the drums to sound like some Primo shit. So I have like this sample in here that these drums are from a song that DJ Premier produced for artist Paula Perry. Those will know because it's a classic DJ Premier beat, but it goes like this. Is the sample. Right, so those are the drums, and it's like kick, snare, hi-hat, but then you also got that get it, the James Brown sample in there. And I always thought that shit was dope, how like the James Brown shit just made it move more. So it's like, I want to do something similar like that in my joint. And so what I ended up doing was I basically programmed the drums to sound pretty much like his. These are my drums, right? And I play his. Right, so those are basically the drums and that shit by itself. So my drums by itself are here. And then to kind of imitate that James Brown, get it, I just grabbed like a yeah. And I was like, I'm going to use this yeah in the same way they do there. So the yeah is here. Right. So when it's all together, it sounds like this. Now, Primo is a master of drum swing, so my drums are not exactly like his, but they're pretty close. And if you want to make something that feels like that, you have to start with the drums. So I started with the drums. Second element of the beat is the piano sample. Now, this is a sample. The version that's out there is not a sample, but it was inspired by a sample. So the original sample that inspired the beat goes like this. Hold on. It goes like this. Yeah, it's like some classical shit. And so it's kind of like a classical sample. Right. So you can kind of hear where it comes. So that was broken down into just this. Right, that's part one. And part two is this part. So when you chop these up and rearrange them, I end up with this. Right. So there's that. And so it's like a sequence which has got like a little end part that's changing up at the end of every second bar. That kind of brings it together. And so from there, we go to the piano, where I got my version is this. right? So there's your piano. There's not a lot in there, and the strings are actually the same notes that are being played on the piano, just a little bit higher. And so the strings are here. Right, so you can see these are your piano notes and these are your string notes. Your string notes are just higher and it's less of them because obviously you don't want the strings to sound all chaotic like the piano. So you just choose certain notes you want the strings to play. So I was just eliminating most of those notes, turning them into my strings, and I'm playing them an octave higher. So that's how we got the string part of it. And then naturally the bass line follows that. So there's that. And so when you put all this stuff together, turn the piano on, turn your strings on, turn your bass on. Oh no, there's one more element that's missing. What's missing is the horn. There's horns on this song, but they only play during the chorus. They only play during the chorus. And they're kind of subtle, but you'll notice it. They come in here. I'll play it with just the drums and the horns so you can kind of hear them come in. You'll hear a little bit tuba first. Hold on. Tuba notes. Wait a minute, I didn't hear nothing. Hold on. There we go. Here they come. And that's basically just those two notes at the end of every sequence. Right? That's basically what. And then on the chorus, so that's the exact same thing except we add the tuba still there. Right? You got the tuba, two versions of it, one playing an octave higher than the other. And they're both panned a little bit left and a little bit right. And so those are the horns that happen on the chorus. That's pretty much everything to the beat. Now, inside this session, we do not have the chorus, which is like a flip on the KRS-One, the intro to Return of a Boom Bap album, where he's saying, "We will be here forever, forever and ever, never, never. We will be here." Originally, I had that as just like as it was in the sample. I had that in the beat as is, but then I decided like, yo, let me kind of flip this and kind of take the phrases out that I really want. So I took the phrases out of his and I kind of put them in a song. And then I was about to have those scratched. And then I was like, yo, why don't I just get somebody to redo it? And so those samples are actually a Logic doing those. It's not KRS-One, for those who know, which is why I put a Logic in the music video, so people could kind of make that connection, like, oh, this sounds and reminds me of that KRS, but it's actually a Logic kind of doing his version of that. And so but yeah, that sample, or the vocal sample, is basically like the last part in it, but I'm going to play the beat with everything in it that we just did first. I'm not a pretty boy that rhymes sweet sentences and write street symphonies like Mobb Deep's infamous. Those kind of differences need a lot of emphasis. Robotic diligence with melodic instruments. All right. So yeah, that's it. I hope y'all got something out of this. For those of you who are fans of the song, I appreciate y'all playing it. It's been getting a lot of strong numbers on the streaming so far. If you haven't heard the single, Head over to Spotify, check it out. The new album Vessel is coming very soon. July 29th, 2025 is the release date. Pick up the vinyl if you haven't. Pre-order that on waitlist.net right now. That's it.